Good morning, everybody. Lone Wolf Rick here, and it is already a hot morning out here. It's about 95 degrees right now at the start of this video. It's supposed to get up to 112 today, 112 degrees. So we'll see if that happens. They've been pretty accurate here, so I'm sure it will. I got my trusty ice cold Dr. Pepper here. I invite you all to pull up your beverage of choice and just sit back and listen to me ramble on for a few minutes and talk about stuff. Good stuff, very cold. Picked this up this morning also. This is over at Target. It's a 16 ounce peanuts. They have like sea salt, or they have lightly salted. $2.29, $2.29. Now, if you eat like the planter ones, they actually don't have the platter ones, or they were sold out, one or the other. They're in that $6-7 range. These are $2.29, and honestly, just as good. It's like honestly, I can't tell the difference between them. So I'm just happy to get these. It's like snack throughout the day, and I got a couple of bottles of ice water in my backpack here, and I'm ready to tackle the day. But today it's like I thought I would talk about a little bit. Started off anyway about the barrage closing. They closed Wednesday, and all the employees had their big goodbyes and everything. That property had 3,050 approximately 3,050 employees that all kind of lost their jobs for, at least at that property, for the next 3 years. So it kind of sad. It's like kind of same way with the Tropicana, although Tropicana only had like 400 employees. But when you work with people for so long, it's like they kind of become family. And whenever these properties close down, it's kind of a sad deal. Uh, it's funny because out of that 3,050, 137 of those people were that been there since day one. They were day one employees, 137 of them. So, a lot of them, it's like that's the only job they've ever known. Opened in 1989. So, you figure 45 years, it's like that property was open. Is that right? 35 years, sorry about that. 35 years, the property was open. And the only job they ever do, So it'll be interesting to see. Now, all of them got a good severance package. I would think about all the union employees got a good severance package. It's like the non-union employees, I'm not sure how many of those it's like that breaks out to. Only got a fraction of what the union employees got. So, but we'll see how that progresses. It's supposed to be down for like 3 years. It'll open up in 2028. Same time, it's like the baseball stadium will open up over at the old Tropicana site. So 2028, I guess, will be an exciting year for Las Vegas. Yesterday's video, I covered a little bit about going over where Tillman Fertitta is going to build his property, off of like Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard. That's going to be another high-end, very nice property over there. So a lot of stuff happening in Vegas, a lot of construction still going on. So something else. I read this also where kind of changed the subject a little bit, but still in the gaming area. It's like here on the slot, none of the properties still put change in it. When you go to cash out a ticket, like say you got a ticket for $20.49, and you go to cash out that ticket, the machine will give you $20, and it'll give you another voucher for the 49 cents. And then you have the option of either go into the cage and cash it in, or do what really most people do, just throw in the trash. Um, it's interesting because it's like the state of Nevada actually gets 75% of that money that's not cashed in. Um, and then the casino, of wherever the casino's at, gets 25%. So last year in 2023, uh, people that did not cash in those few pennies, it's like on those slot vouchers and a thing, it came to $24.4 million. That's the vouchers that just went in the trash or the vouchers that go wherever. So 24.4 million, and the state got 75% of that. And and then the casino, whatever casino it's like, that comes from, it's like reporting gets 25%. That's a chunk of change. Now, the properties downtown, it's like most of them now have gone back to where they put the change and the coins in the machine. So like probably to prevent it's like the accounting nightmare of having to keep track of like all those ones that don't get cashed in. But they put the back in the machines the coins. Um, Laughlin, I believe it's like that they have the coins in the machines also. So it's just kind of the strip. It's like that doesn't do it right now. I'm not sure about the station casinos. Haven't been in one of those in a while, but. 24.4 million. It's like was left uncashed. It's like on those just few pennies that people just throw the voucher away. That's pretty amazing. That's incredible numbers, huh? Um, talk a little bit about I've talked about this before. It's like if they read about, but a lot of times it's like you just kind of like reminisce and think about old times, or I was going to say better times. I'm not sure if they were better or not, but sometimes it seemed like they were. When you're younger, when you're a kid anyway, it's like I guess it probably was better times. But I always talked about it. It's like the one thing that my grandma and grandpa, it's like the thing on my dad's side. It's like they're from Missouri. Just old farm folk. It's like uh, both lived to be 97 years old. So I got that going for me. But my grandpa always like went through and would talk to me about silver, and it's like the thing, and he would show me, because he lived at through 1965 when they started putting, it's like they making the coins out of whatever, when they put the copper out of and zinc and whatever else. It's like they used to make the coins. It's like which made the actual coins not silver anymore. Um, But my grandpa always told me when I was a kid, it's like, if you find these coins, it's like from 1964 or before, and he'd have like an old dime or whatever, quarter. It's like it's like you keep those and you put those away. It's like never spend them. It's like put them away. And my grandpa like drilled that into me. It's like, just always put away. And I did. It's like I would have my little piggy bank or whatever, and if I would get like a silver coin, because let's face it, back then when you're a kid or whatever, it's like the thing. It's like you would still get change. It's like it might be the silver coins or whatever, and I always just put them away. And then when I go to visit my grandpa and grandma, it's like in Missouri. My grandpa would always give me like a. Usually it would be like a Ben Franklin 50-cent piece or whatever. You keeping these? It's like, yeah, keep it. Of course, when you're a kid, it's like the thing. It's like you never had those, so those were pretty cool, to get those. And it's not like how you had the money. It was like the thing that everybody give me like a 50-cent piece, like back in change or whatever. But so always my piggy bank. It's like hey, and realistically, I still have those. It's like the ones from my grandpa. So that's the I guess the reminiscing part, of uh, thinking about stuff. But this being an election year, it's like the thing I was thinking about. Every year I would go down for about a week and spend it down in Missouri. My grandma and grandpa, and it's like hang out down there on the farm, help my grandma in her quote unquote garden. It was like which was always big, but she worked by herself. She'd be out there on her hands and knees. It's like, it's plowing it up or tilling it or whatever the case was. But this, like I said, this being an election year, it was like I had. I remember that. I remember this unbelievably, like very well. It was like my grandpa was like we were out in the yard one time. It's like it's summertime, and out in the yard, just not doing nothing. Just walking around and talking or whatever. And the sheriff pulls up. It's like in front of the house. It's like hey now, my grandparents lived in. It's like uh, the closest town. It's like where they lived. It's like in the county was Kabul and Houston, which were both about 2 to 3,000 people. Those were like the big towns. And but the town my grandparents lived in, it's like they was like 35 people basically. So but it had like a little uh, mom and pop. I guess it would be a convenience store now. It's like they call it the grocery store, but it was like one of those just where you lived like above. It's like the store was on the bottom and then the people lived above it. An old couple. But the sheriff pulled up one day, and it's like a thing, and I'm like, you know, little kid. It's like a thing. It's like thing. So it's kind of like wow. It's like sheriff pulls up. My grandpa goes over to the fence, and there's an old fence posts. It's like the way the old fences were. And he like was leaning on the fence, and it's like sheriff comes up and says, Raymond, grandpa's name, Raymond, and my grandpa be outie. It's like they talk because the guy was sheriff forever and ever. It's like they like Andy. And he was like talking about talking to my grandpa. It's like it's election year. It's like grandpa's like yep, election year. The sheriff was like, well, he goes, I know I can count on your support again, right? He goes, oh, absolutely. He goes, don't forget to tell your neighbors. Don't forget, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, tell everybody. It's like the thing, be sure to get out and vote. It's like, vote for me. And the thing, grandpa's like, yeah, I sure will. So sheriff takes my grandpa's hand and goes through and grandpa's got like, his hand's got like a $20 bill. I always remember that. Where the sheriff paid my grandpa $20. It's like basically for his vote. But my grandpa would go around and tell all they would be sure to vote for sheriff whatever his name was. It's like the thing. And it's the '60s. It's like the thing. I guess that happened a lot probably. And but sheriff was like a sheriff there a long time, and he basically was like. Gave my grandpa $20. It's like the thing. It's like back then, especially my grandpa, that was quite a bit of money. $20. It's like the '60s because I'm probably like 6 or 7, 8 years old, basically whatever however old I was. It's like trying to remember, but it was pretty amazing. It's like that the thing. So. But I knew the good thing was it's like the thing. It's like the thing. My grandpa's got $20 now. We were going to go over. It's like to that grocery store, and the thing. So it's like after a little while, it's like grandma's getting ready to fix dinner, and uh, grandpa's like, yeah, come on, boy, let's go over to the the grocery store over here. It's like the thing. Grab, ma. It's like ma and pa, the thing. It's like mom needs a couple of things. So okay. And of course, it's like those places. It's like old wood floor. I mean, if you know the type, it's like wood floor. They always had that kind of smell. It's like the thing. Those grocery stores that were like old and wood floor and everything. And so we go in there, and I think my grandpa picked up a cup, whatever the items was. It's like the thing, but I remember it was like the thing. It's like go over there. It's like grab you a soda. Okay, it's like I'm not going to argue that. And so I go over and and open up the thing. Now they had their soda thing was one of those that's like it had like it was a big thing and it had the water cooling. So the soda's all set in water down in the thing, the bottles and everything, real pop bottles. They go in there. It's like the thing, and I grab like um, a chocolate yoo-hoo. It's like hey, you little kid. It's like a thing, chocolate yoo-hoo. That was like a big deal. So I grab a chocolate yoo-hoo, and my grandpa goes over there and he grabs like a Coke or whatever. And so he goes up, he pays the guy. It's like the thing. And he comes back, and we're walking back across the street. It's like over to their house, and my grandpa would be like, "Now, don't tell Ma that I bought this for you." It's like thing. You got to drink it before you go. Okay, anything. So I we drank them. It's like outside. He took the stuff in to like grandma. It's like I gave it to her. It was like so a little bit later on, after we had like dinner and stuff, and so grandma's like, grandpa's out and he's locking up the barn and locking up the stuff. It was like the chickens, I guess, or whatever. And but grandma was like, did the Paul buy you a soda? Of course, now I'm between the rock and a hard spot. It's like Grandpa said, don't tell her, what I think. But me, I'm like, yeah. She's like, good. I told him to. I'm like, okay. So anyway, it was like that was, just reflecting back on the times of spending with your grandma and grandpa. It's like when you're a little kid, that's good times. You picture my grandpa. It's like he was like always wore the bib overalls and everything. And my grandma was always in a dress. I never saw her in anything but always a dress. And she'd be working out in the garden in a dress. But just fun times, fun memories. But the silver part, it's like, the thing, it's like, and I always had that stick with me my whole life. And that's always been, I guess, for the most part, like my main investment in life. And I'm kind of rambling on here. It's like, I think I want to wrap this up, but uh, I guess that's kind of been like my main investment was silver. I never got into gold much. Gold was always too volatile for me. What I think it's like if you buy some gold, and it drops like $200 or $300. For a guy like me, that's a big drop. I think with silver, you buy some silver and it drops $2 or $3. It's like okay, you can recoup that later on. And especially as much silver as I saved up from when I was a kid, it's like thing. It's like I always figure, well, it all averages out because I got this basically for free, all this silver, and it's like whatever you paid for. But just good memories. It's like kind of like drinking Dr Pepper. Good memories. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I had a lot of other stuff to talk about here. I just got kind of rambling on here about family and my grandparents and stuff. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. I really do. And we'll get ready for another week, huh? As the year keeps rambling on. Hey, everybody. I'm Little Freak. Thank you very much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me the time and watching my videos. I really do. Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? Please stay healthy. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Bye-bye.